I usually interview musicians, whether they're underground or mainstream. But today I am talking to someone who's making a big impact on the local music scene here in Central Jersey, where we are. And I'm talking today with Lawrence Dwyer of LD3 Booking, which is, want to make sure I get this right. It's an independent agency that specializes in booking local bands to play gigs mainly at the Michael's Inn in Raritan and North Side Lounge in Manville. So would you say you're
Yes.
kind of like a concert promoter, basically?
Basically, that'd be essentially what it is. Put shows together, promote it, go from there.
Okay. So we were actually hanging out last night, and I was telling you before, you're doing the Lord's work, man, because I was talking with another guy there, and we were just reminiscing about how all these different venues are like closing as we. Everybody has that different generation when they think about like different venues that they grew up going to that are gone. What you're kind of doing is trying to revive all that and like get all these local bands together and kind of like keep that scene going alive, right? Because you
Of
probably
course, yeah.
experienced that
You
before. Yeah.
want places for bands to be able to play still, and people go to see live entertainment and stuff as well. Original live entertainment, especially because not a lot of bars or whatever else let you back into there to do that type of stuff anymore. It's kind of tough on that end.
How did you? Why did you start it, and how did it come to be? What you're doing?
Well, when I was in high school, I used to book some shows over at Club Sparks, and that was a lot of fun. Did it mainly starting off because my band needed shows to play and stuff like that, and got along with the owner. Things kind of went forward. And then Mike went over to the Seacoast, years later, Mike Carbone, and he did Carbone booking over there. And that seemed to be a big success over there. I know Anthony and Dan did some shows over there as well.
Hmm.
And when Mike moved away, the Seacoast closed. Just kind of wanted to keep it going. Wanted to, scene really kind of started to go together, and want people to be able to have another place to play. So I went around, found Michael's at first to let us have shows for a while. COVID hit, and then when after that, Northside reached out and wanted us to have stuff over there, and now doing a little bit of both. Every Saturday over at Northside, some other stuff over at Michael's. So things have been going well.
Okay, so that's actually interesting. You're touching on a lot of things I didn't know about you, and we've actually probably known each other for like a good 7 years, something like that. What
Yeah.
is like your music background then? You actually were in bands in high school? Because I didn't know you played before, like about 5 years ago.
No, me and Anthony were in a band in high school for a while. You know, we started playing, instruments and got into whatever else. He played guitar, I played bass, and we played lots of different shows, lots of different whatever else. Had a good time doing it. And when we ran our run, I stopped playing for a while. Then when Mike moved back from Utah, that's when Acid Cactus started, and that
Right.
was a lot of fun. And a lot of people came out and seemed to enjoy it a lot. I miss it a lot. It was a
What
good
is
time.
what kind of music? What's the name of the first band you were in? Let's talk about that. And how good were you?
Oh, me and Anthony's first band was called the Spaz Attacks, and
Uh-huh.
we started off. It was how you could anticipate it starting off. It was we were in eighth grade, whatever else, and as we went through the years, we got progressively better. But it just a lot of the same material, whatever else. We kind of stuck with some stuff. We wrote some new stuff as well towards the end, which was good. I thought some of it was really good, and we just kind of after 5 years or so, 6 years, whatever it was, we kind of just kind of called it quits when we went off to college, different stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So then now I guess you're saying you're getting a little better. And what you've seen from the musician side, you're able to know what bands want and what they need and what would be good for the community. So you're a good person to segue into this role. So you're not so you're authentic with the whole thing. So you mentioned before Carbone Booking, your friend Mike Carbone was doing that same thing you're doing now. So you kind of you're carrying that torch for him when he moved. Like, is that how it came to be?
It kind of, yeah, I guess that would be a good way to put it. I mean, bands were still looking for places to play. I know we were still looking for places to play, and when the Seacoast closed, we kind of had to figure out something else to do. And we figured, well, we were lucky enough that the people down at Michaels let us in and let us do some stuff there, and we were doing a lot. And we had a great summer booked last year, and things kind of fell apart. So
Right.
hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully we're going to get the steam back in and push forward.
All right. Yeah, I see it's definitely working out because I attended 2 shows. I'll let you guys know. I went to Michael's Inn a few weeks ago for the P Funk North show, and they're actually a ska punk, like kind of reggae-ish band that does originals and covers. So basically, if you want to hear like a Sublime-esque version of like a Three Doors Down song or like a Jay-Z song, they're the band you gotta check out. So I checked that show out. Also, last night I was telling you before, I saw you another show you put on at Northside in Manville with the bands that were playing. It was a guy named Matt Collins, right?
Yes.
Pages of this book, those goddamn sages got me home. Didn't realize that all those scribbles on these pages are nothing I can call my own. Don't you walk away from me, you sexy fuck. So why do we try when no one to is alive to ourselves? Why do we cry when the captain screams fire? Now so send an SOS, scream there's a monster inside. Closer to you, like the horror fell, and you're the closer. I know that I am just a monster to you.
Veronica Vaughn, so cute. Want to touch the hiney?
I'm happy for you. I wish nothing but the best for you both. Yeah, I know the hurt will see the further like me. Will see those down here, but who's out? Just speak out the cold and wish you had your baby. I'm so sick of the real somewhere on the mother.
And the headliner of that night, Spice Weasel.
The social media is nothing but obnoxious. She thinks she's suffering, but I don't see the symptoms. She's a big flirt, but she lies.
It was a lot of fun. The crowd was into it, so you're definitely getting a lot of interesting and versatile groups to like perform. So then my question is, like, all these shows, they're free, right? And you've
Yes,
been doing that
all of
same
them are-
thing. And you were saying earlier that you work with the bars and stuff like that to work things
Yeah,
out.
kind of a preset rate and kind of go out of there, kind of thing. So
Okay. Also, I want to let you guys know he's got a lot of shows booked up this month and going up until October. There's a ska show happening on October 30th. I'm very excited to see. He's got the Backyard Superheroes and Joker's Republic playing. They're pretty huge ska bands in the ska community. So that night will be called, we were saying, Skalloween on a Saturday night. And I was telling him earlier when I saw him that since Northside, where you're having the show, is such a small place, it'll be interesting to see him fit a 9-piece band into that little area. But Lawrence assured me last night that from previous shows you have done, that you're going to make this thing work. And I'll be excited to see how that
it'll
goes.
work great. You're gonna be very pleasantly surprised with how everything looks. I'm very sure of it.
All right. And as I was saying before, or actually you were saying before, I should say, the Seacoast is where you guys used to play shows, which closed down recently. That was in Raritan. And I was asking if you wanted to build a stage at one of the other places like you did at the Seacoast. And what were you saying about that?
I said I've actually talked to the guys over at Northside about that, and they seem kind of open to it. So it's basically up to the ownership. Michael's runs more as a bar and restaurant during the week. So having a permanent fixture in there really wouldn't work too well because, the way we put the one at the Seacoast together, that wasn't going to move unless you took it out piece by piece. I mean, that thing was solid in there, lolly columns underneath. The stage was, I think we put 3.5-inch wood screws in that. It wasn't something that was coming out every week. It was more of a permanent fixture. So.
Okay, so Northside, which is in Manville, is a better chance of having a stage, which I'm also still excited to see how big the stage will be. But at least it'll be some kind of area where, like, the bouncers can stand with their arms folded and avoid the crowd surfers. I'm kidding. It's really small, but it'll be fun to see.
I've seen crowd surfing there before. It happens.
Yeah. and like when we used to watch the show, the Seacoast, the
There's
same
a-
thing would happen there in a little bar like that, little dive bar, having a big crowd and people crowd surfing in there, narrowly missing, landing right on the bar. I guess the bar itself. But
Well,
it's
there's
like,
pictures of Anthony at both places, crowd
yeah,
surfing. I think
yeah,
there's
this
one
is
of him and
amazing.
Michael's too, playing guitar up on the crowd.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that show so intimate and still having that whole punk aesthetic happening at the same time.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm in the works with booking some other larger bands. I'm kind of keeping it under wraps for now, but there's some
Yeah.
good stuff that's going to be coming out in October and November. That because really, the more bands, the more people you can get down somewhere, the more people are going to keep coming back, in my opinion. So it's
Yeah.
going to work out nicely for everybody involved. So
Yeah. And what is the ultimate goal for LD3 booking in the long run?
I mean, I've been thinking about more places or more whatever else, but I am really happy where I'm at. I mean, I like meeting the new bands. I like seeing the new bands, buying T-shirts, CDs, merch, and just hanging out, enjoying myself with everybody coming out. And I'm very happy with what's been going on so far. So I don't have any complaints at all. I'm just I'm gonna ride it out and see where it goes. So
Okay. So let everybody know where they can get in touch with you, whether they're a band that wants to get on one of your shows, or if it's a person that just wants to go to one of these shows you're having.
well, they can get in touch with me either through my Facebook, Lawrence Dwyer, LAWRENCE DWYER, or you can go to LD3 Bookings Facebook page, which would be LD, and then the 3 would be III for third, essentially, booking.
Mhm.
Or Lawrence Dwyer on Instagram. You could find me any of those places. I'm going back and forth with people as of this morning on all 3 different pages, and just reach out and we'll see what we can do.
So thank you very much for doing this with me, Larry. I really appreciate you talking with me about
Anytime.
this.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully I'll see you coming up soon.
Yeah,
Come out and enjoy, hang out. So
absolutely, no problem with that. And if you guys want to see more interviews or stuff like that, you can check out our YouTube page, pubperspectives.com is the website, and also Pub Perspectives is where you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you very much for checking us out, and go to a show. I swear to God, you'll have a good time. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe, folks.